that, but I feel like switch out Washington State, put on Oklahoma and Kyler Murray. That would be my one tweak, see.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have Kyler Murray in there. He's sensational. He got better numbers than Baker Mayfield, who won the Heisman Trophy last year. So it's a list, a good list. It should have been a list of a few more quarterbacks.
A few extra names. And I feel like Herbert, that's about his pro potential more than what he's done at Oregon this year.
All right, we'll get to El Bell in a second, but first, Chris Paul just embarrasses Nikola Jokic with some fancy dribbling right here.
Oh, he does a few of these a month. He just toys with them. He's got one of the best handles.
Man, Jokic do a lot of things on offense, and that's what he can do on defense. Get made to look like...
Watch this. College basketball, Georgetown, Illinois. Mac McClung drives baseline with a nice up and under move for the reverse layup.
Below the rim.
Mac stays on the highlights now.
Yeah.
Now listen, it's one of our favorites from high school. We followed him. Now he's a freshman at Georgetown. And yes, he's white. I'm going to say it. Yes, he's white and making highlights.
Usually above the rim highlights like that.
Finally, LSU Memphis. Skylar Mays destroys Mike Parks Jr. with a vicious slam.
Oh, my goodness. That's a big-time dunk now.
Yeah, they don't play too much basketball down in the Bayou, but a couple nice plays by him last night. Skylar, this one skying up. He had a nice little reverse layup, a play after this one, too.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll watch the sequence of videos, man. I mean, come on.
Oh, okay.
You guys have taught me that.
Check you out, see?
All right, on to the NFL now, where it became official yesterday. Le'Veon Bell will not play football in 2018. The All-Pro running back did not report to Steelers by 4 p.m. yesterday. That was the deadline for him to play under the franchise tag. He wanted to protect his body, to go out and get a big money deal. Now we'll see if that can happen in 2019. Here's Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin.
I understand that business is an element of the game of football, and there are elements of the game, relationships within the game, football-related relationships that we all hold near and dear and understand. And then football at this level, there's also the business element. And even when we don't understand it, we're sensitive to it. So we're not shocked when things happen from a business standpoint, no. Like I've said repeatedly, and I mean, I'm focused on the guys that are here, man. We got enough challenges that are significant in terms of meeting the things that we need to meet this week in terms of getting a win.
All right, CC, break down where we are right now and what the next steps are for both the Steelers and for Lev Bell.
I think the Steelers are going to move forward, just like in any professional sports. If a guy gets injured, something happens, the team moves on. Like, players would like to think that, oh man, the team's going to suffer. Yeah, they have one of their talented players that's not going to be there. And I believe that his history with the Pittsburgh Steelers is over with. When the coach, Mike Tomlin, tries to reach out with you multiple times, which he tried to do in El Bell's case, and El Bell decided that he wasn't going to respond, Mike Tomlin made that clear yesterday. He's never been involved with a player that he tried to reach out and communicate as much as he did to El Bell and not have that player respond. We started the season with John Gruden and Khalil Mack. Oh, it was the opposite, where John Gruden wasn't reaching out to Khalil Mack. Now we have the opposite. Mike Tomlin wanted him there. Now, how are they going to get him signed to a long-term contract? Mike Tomlin can only have so much influence on the general manager and the organization. But I always believe, and I tell players this, you want the coaching staff speaking on your behalf. So when you cut off communication, you cut off one of the, I believe, necessary things to trying to get a deal done. Because when it comes down to it, you want someone to jump on that table and say, we need this guy here. So when El Bell, him and his agent, decided this was the course they were going to take, I believe that they'll look back. Well, they're not going to admit it, but I believe they're going to regret this situation. Because when you walk away from $15 million as a young person, I've been through the NFL, and I've had a great post-career. It's hard to recover from $15 million. Like, you're never going to get that year back, and you're never going to get that $15 million back.
Listen, we are never going to officially know if Le'Veon Bell made the right decision or not, because we're not going to know if he was going to get hurt. Now, I know, your philosophy in your playing career was, if I'm supposed to get hurt, I'm going to get hurt. I'm not even going to have that in my mind. And maybe that's one of the reasons that you went through basically the entirety of your career without ever suffering a major injury.
Tell me what other path there is. Tell me what other path there is in pro sports. Either I'm going to train my body as hard as I can and not worry about getting injuries, or what's the other? Oh, I'm going to worry about getting injuries.
Well, I think once you are playing, obviously, during the game, you shouldn't, it would be to your detriment to worry about getting hurt. Le'Veon Bell was in a specific situation where the decision was to play a season or not, and to have the injury factor, the specter of injury factor into that. But I don't think that was the only thing he was factoring into that. I think he was factoring in, do I want, for the next football game I play, have the team be invested in my long-term future or just my this-year future? We're not going to know. There's no way to prove one way or another if Le'Veon Bell made the right decision or wrong decision. The only way we'll know definitively he made the wrong decision is if nobody offers him the contract he thinks he's going to get. Is if he next year signs for 2 years, $14 million, and it's like, wait, what the hell just happened? But if he gets a big deal from the Jets or the Colts or the Texans or whomever, the question will be, would he have gotten that if he played for the Steelers? Would he have not? Would he have gotten that plus the $14 million from Pittsburgh? We don't know that.
I always believe he would have gotten the money. We've seen guys who have injuries.
Got the money from
any other team. Like, he would have gotten the money even if he got hurt in Pittsburgh. When talented players hit free agency, they get paid. We see guys who aren't talented getting paid. Talented players hitting free agency, it's consistent. They get paid. Now, the Kaepernick thing, it was odd. The Eric Reed thing, it was odd. But the rest of the players, just look at the history. These guys get paid. They get paid, hurt or not hurt. Good players are not good players in free agency.
All right, so now you have the Steelers. They look at James Conner, and they say, okay, we got our guy. Can they use James Conner the same way they use L. Bell? Is it possible that they're going to wear him out a little too much?
Well, so listen, thus far, James Conner has equaled, if not bettered, Le'Veon Bell's best year as far as through 9 games. Yeah. He's played like a Pro Bowl, all-pro caliber running back. The only concern for me, if I'm Pittsburgh, in regards to James Conner specifically, is the most touches he's ever had in a year of football in his life is a little over 300, 303 his sophomore year at Pitt. Obviously, last year he had almost none, and this year he's on pace for 360, and that's before you get to the playoffs. So I do think there is legitimate reason to be concerned about, will he get better as the year goes on, maintain, or will he drop off? I don't think there's any way to predict that. I don't think that, we just have to see what type of player he is.
Every young running back, we make these excuses of why they're not going to be durable. Oh, once they're successful, you know what we start doing? Oh, we should monitor their carries. Well, why should we do that? Well, we don't know if he can do it in pro football, even if a guy was a workhorse. So James Conner, there's nothing he could do that would have proven. If he had 300 carries in college, we would be saying, I don't know if he could do this in pro football. So his narrative, it wouldn't have changed at all. Like, they are done with L. Bell. They're not sitting around talking about L. Bell. What they're trying to do is improve on the things that they have done through nine games. James Conner is their franchise running back. They have decided that. The conversation about L. Bell, they're over with. The Pittsburgh Steelers have moved on. And we as a show, I hope that we move on and talk about the Steelers and what their potential is. I wouldn't be worried. I never worry about a running back and his carries and everything, what his career is going to be. I remember this a number of years ago. DeMarco Murray. Oh, man, is he carrying the ball too much? He was having one of the greatest seasons ever. That's how you see records get broken, by pushing a guy to the threshold and seeing if he can endure, if he can't endure. There is no equation to be able to determine, will James Conner be able to continue on this pace? If L. Bell if he had come back during training camp and he was right now, we'd be asking the same question.
Absolutely.
Would L. Bell be healthy during the stretch? Are they overusing him?
No. Listen, I want to make it clear. I wasn't talking about, will the way the Steelers use James Conner this year affect his future. I'm saying there is, with any young running back, you're correct, with any young running back, anyone who's ever, we're asking them to do something they've never done, the question is, can they do it? And that's what the Steelers now have to deal with. They're not going to be in a situation where they're going to be splitting carries. They're not going to be in a situation where he's going to go back to a backup role. He's going to have the exact role he's had through 9 games the rest of the year, and we will have the rest of the year to see if that is a workload that he can handle. Thus far, he's passed every benchmark perfectly, but we have no evidence that he can or cannot in December and into January.
All right, let's take a break. Coming up, let's talk some Cowboys. Is Dallas going to the playoffs? Pretty simple question. The answer, not that simple. Next time, First Things First.
Jenna, next time I talk about